Good morning and welcome to Field Testing with Joe. Today we are going to do a liquid limit and PI 3/4 inch asphalt virgin aggregates. So here is our setup. And that is our PI for the liquid limit. We'll put material in this and has to hit a range of 35 to 25 blows before we hydrate the material. So this is our material. It is sieved through a number 40 screen to get this fine material, as you can see. So we are going to weigh up 100 grams of it on that scale right there. So let's go ahead and get 100 grams of the material. Minimum amount of material that we need to get to perform this test is 85 grams. So we're at about 130 grams on this, so we got more than enough material to run the test. So we always try to start off at 100 grams, and we will add some water to this and thoroughly mix it to a homogenized mixture. So once I get 100 grams, I will start off with 15 grams or mLs of water. Okay. 100 grams of material. And we'll test the camera. And we're gonna zoom in. So, as you can see, we have a syringe here. I'm going to fill it up to 15 milliliters of water, and I'm going to introduce it to our 100 grams of minus 40 material. We'll make sure we get all the air bubbles out. And we're going to introduce 15 milliliters of water to start off with. And then we will thoroughly mix it. It's probably going to take a little bit more than 15 milliliters, but it's better to start off dry and continue adding water in smaller increments. And it looks like we're going to need at least another 3 grams of water added to this, or 3 milliliters. But let's get it thoroughly mixed first, and we'll see what it looks like. So basically what this test will tell us is the liquid limit, the amount of water that this material will take before it liquefies, or I guess it's kind of liquefaction, where it becomes to the point that it cannot absorb any more water. And that'll give us our liquid limit. And then from that, we will grab a small sample and see how much plasticity is in the material. And plasticity is basically how much clay is in it. And we'll show you what we do with that. But right now, this material looks like I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more milliliters of water to this. Okay, just got done adding 2 milliliters of water to this. We're going to make sure we mark it on our worksheet. Let me show you our worksheet for this. So you got 15 mils is what we started off with, and I just added an additional 2 milliliters to it. So I am going to go ahead and mark 2 on that, and we will continue mixing our sample. All right. So I'm going to continue mixing this till it's nice and blended. And then I am going to place it in this brass cup. So I'm going to, now that it's thoroughly mixed and I can combine it, so you want it to look like so. And I'm going to cut a slice out of it. Let's zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to take about that much material. And place it in the cup. I'm going to spread it out to the bottom of the cup. And we'll put a damp rag over this to keep the moisture in. and we'll smooth it out. Okay. Any material off to the side, we'll put back in there. And then we have this neat little grooving tool, as you can see. And we will go to the center of this cake, as we so call it. And we'll go up to 5 to 6 strokes. And then this is a counter, and I'm going to turn the on switch, and it's going to go up and down, counting each drop. And what I'm looking for is a full closure in 35 tamps or drops. And it looks like I'm going to need more moisture added to this. Alright, so I'm at 42 drops so far and no closure. So I am going to go ahead and add, I would say, we'll add 2 more milliliters of water to it, thoroughly mix, and hopefully we will be in our blow range, and then I can let it hydrate for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna chop this up, add another 2 milliliters. And thoroughly mix again. And I gotta remember, so already marked it. So now we are at 19 milliliters of material and of water added to the material. And it looks like, by the feel of it, that 19 milliliters is going to be my magic number for so I can hydrate for a half hour. Because this material is doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to place it back in the cup. Place our damp rag over it to eliminate the drying. And we're going to knead and smooth this out in the cup. So you want to try to get this material in the cup and smooth out. Minimal strokes as possible, because as you're doing this, you're losing moisture. So we will zero out the counter and we'll do our 5 to 6 strokes. 4, 5, and 6. So as you can see, that is a very nice groove. And we'll move that up. And so you can see what I'm looking at. And start the timer. We'll edit you. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have a closure of about 1 inch at 32 blows. So we're going to call that good, and we will let this hydrate for a half hour. So I'm going to move this material back into the bowl. I'm going to chop it up a little bit to facilitate the hydration. And I am going to cover it up and set a timer for 30 minutes. And we will come back and in 30 minutes and we'll continue on with the test, and I'll explain more after that. See you in a half hour. Okay, welcome back. It's been just about 30 minutes, and the material is hydrated for 30 minutes. So we will now continue with our test, adding increments of 1 to 2 milliliters to get our first blow range. Be right back. I'm going to set up. Sorry about that. That was our 30-minute timer. So it's been 30 minutes, and let's continue the test. Hang on one sec. Let's get set up. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Our material is hydrated. We're going to go ahead and start off with 1 milliliter of water. And we are going to thoroughly mix that and get our first blow range. And our first blow range needs to be within 25 to 35 blows on the liquid limit device. So let's get this remixed up. And we'll go from there. Okay, we also got to make sure we are marking the amount of water that we are adding to our sample. We're going to zero out our counter, and we're going to place our material in the cup like we did before. Remember to press it down to eliminate any air voids and air bubbles, and smooth it out with as few strokes as possible. Now that we have our material in the cup, we will again cover it with our damp rag to eliminate the amount of moisture, and we'll do our 5 to 6 strokes. Taking care that there's no tearing. And 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it looks like we have full closure at 28. As you can see, 28. And full closure up top. Who be that?
Didn't have a light on, fading, like a light session or whatever.
That's Robbie. So 28 blows on the first range. Usually like it a little bit higher, but that's all right. We'll make it work. So I'm going to take about 1 inch from that closure, and I'm going to put it on our watch glass, which already have the weight of the watch glass. So we got 40.57 grams on the wet weight. 57 grams. 40.57 grams. I'll set that off to the side. And now we're gonna get an 8-gram sample for our plastic index, which I explained earlier. It tells you the amount of clay in the material. And 8.5 grams is more than enough. We will put it on our glass plate and cover it to retain moisture. Okay. I am gonna add another milliliter of water to our sample, and we are gonna mix it and place it back in the bowl and in the brass cup. And our second blow range is 20 to 30 on the blow ranges for our second blow range. And each of our blow ranges, the first one was 25 to 35, the second one is 20 to 30, and the last one is 15 to 25. mark it on our sheet. Zero out our counter. And start the process all over again. One, two, three, 4, and 6. Alright, so our second blow range is at 22 blows. And again, we'll put it on our watch glass that we already have the tare weight out on. We got 41.68. 41.68. And that was at 22 blue. Okay, we're going to add 1 more gram. And our last blow range needs to be between 15 and 25. Zero out our counter. Break this up. And add 1 more gram. And we'll thoroughly mix. So by the third sample, we should be way past the amount of water that this material will absorb. So our second sample will be pretty much the liquid limit area, or the area that where it absorbed most of the water and will not absorb anymore. Place this in the cup. As you can see, it's getting kind of mushy. When it gets this wet, it makes it a little more challenging getting it in the cup just right. I've been doing this so long that I really don't have any problems with it. Wipe off the grooving tool. And again, 5 to 6 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got a closure of 15, which is on the minimum side of it. And this is the third sample. Place it on 40.13 for the wet weight. Okay. So, all right. That is our frosted plate right there. And our sample is under this cup. So, and that's our sample for our PI, or plastic index. Tell us how much clay in the material. This material has a specification of 6 on the plastic index and 35 max on the liquid limit. So I'm going to take our sample, divide it into 4 pieces of equal volume. Cover that up. Wipe the plate down. And then we're going to take one part of the sample and we're going to continue rolling it up to 90 strokes. So we get a snake or a rollout of about 1/8 of an inch. And then once we get that, we will get it back to an elliptical. So once we have it to about that, we will combine it again and we'll try to roll it out one more time. And as you can see, after one rollout, it's already breaking apart. So we will cover that up to keep in whatever moisture is in it. I'm going to take another one of our 4 samples and roll it out again to about 1/8 of an inch. We'll keep doing that until we roll out all the samples. As you can see, it's kind of already deforming, so it's kind of borderline plastic, but sometimes it just breaks apart right away because the material is gritty. But as you can see, it's already. So one rollout is probably the max you're going to get out of this material. Make sure you wipe off your frosted plate. Make sure any excess moisture is off of it. And continue rolling out. I'm not going to bore you with the mathematics on it, but once you roll it out, we will dry this back to a constant weight and weigh each of our 3 blow range samples and the dry weight of our rolled out sample. And we'll enter those numbers on our worksheet, and that will give us our liquid limit and our plastic index. So what I'm going to do is place this on our glass plate and we'll weigh this out. And it looks like it is 39.31. 39.31 on the wet weight for the plastic. We had 15 blows for the 3rd sample. And we will take all 4 of our samples and place them in the microwave to dry in intervals of 5 minutes. And And after 10 minutes, we'll let it cool down. Usually 10 minutes is about right. Sometimes we have to let it run for another minute or two. Filling up a container with water to put in the microwave. Helps regulate the heat and keeps our material from exploding. So there's our 4 samples in the microwave with a cup of water. And we're gonna set the timer for 5 minutes. And we'll be back with the results in 10 minutes. So our sample is drying in the microwave. It's on its second cycle of 5 minutes. We'll check to see if there's any moisture after the next 5 minutes. If there is, then I will throw it in for another 2 minutes. Let the sample cool down, and then we will weigh out the sample and do the calcs to see where we sat on our liquid limit and our plastic index. Be back in a few. Okay, our sample is thoroughly dried and it is cooled down. We can weigh it. And enter it, the information on our worksheet. So number 1, dried, is 38.26. 26. Number 2, 37.85. Number 3, 36.85. And number 4, which was our rollout for the PI, is 38.28 grams. So now we are going to calc it all out and get the moistures on all the samples, which will determine what our liquid limit is, and our plastic limit, and our plastic index. So we are going to subtract our dry weight from the tare weight of the watch glass, which gives us 14.75. And then we'll subtract our wet weight from our dry weight. That'll give us how much moisture we lost, or how much water we lost in the drying. And we lost 2.31 grams, and we're going to divide that into 14.75, multiply that by 100, and that gives us 15.7 grams of moisture, or 15.7% moisture. 37.85 minus 21.37 gives us 16.48 grams from the tare weight. 1.68 minus 37.85 3.83 grams water divided by 16.48. Oh, what the hell did I do? Okay, so here is our sheet. It's a little sloppy, but so we weighed everything out and we create this little triangle here. And what we're looking for is where it crosses 25 blow range right there. And we're sitting at 19.5 on the liquid limit. And then from our rollout, we're getting a 14.6% moisture. And we're going to subtract that from our 19.5, which will give us a 4.9 on the plastic index. So our liquid limit is 19.5 and our plastic index is 4.9. So that meets the specs of 35 max for the liquid limit and 6 max for the PI. Thank you guys, and we will see you next time on Field Testing with Joe. And subscribe to my channel, Concrete Car Show. Thank you.